This channel is a member of the Astral Stars, which means we have a zero-tolerance policy against the harassment of others. Anybody who violates that policy will be banned. For further information, please visit www.theastralstars.com. Alright guys and girls, welcome to another episode of Astral Auto Repairs. Can you dig it? Alright, check it out. What'd you do? Alright, check it out. What we got today is a 1977 Buick LeSabre with the 350 engine. I'm so used to saying 3.5, 5.0 and all this. Man, it's rare when you have to actually call out the cubic inch diameter, dimension, whatever. 350.
So can't you say 5.7?
5.7.
I'm just asking.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
What you saying?
All right, and what we're going to do is show you how to replace the water pump. Now, there's a difference in the Buick 350 and the Chevy 350, especially when it comes to the water pump. The water pump on the Chevy 350 is really easy. On the old ones, there's just the 4 bolts, boom, the thing comes off and done. This one, a little bit different, a little bit more sucky. So, let's get right to it, because there's a lot of work involved. I'm going to try to make this real quick. All right, for all you people out there who like the old style cars and put the big rims on it and all that. All right, so let's get right to it. We'll be right back. All right, guys, the first thing I'm gonna do is I got my drain pan down there. Now I could take out the drain screw from the radiator, but I gotta take off the hose anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my flat screwdriver, or you can an 8mm or 5/16. I'm gonna loosen up this clamp right here. Make sure it's nice and loose. And swing that back, and we're gonna slowly pull off this hose. Now you see right now this hose is kind of tight. So sometimes what you gotta do is take the screwdriver and just stick it around there and just break that seal off of it. You can hear the actually hear the seal. There we go. Antifreeze is coming loose. Coming out of there. Break it over on that side. And you want to be careful not to damage and stick a hole in that hose. You're done for. Okay. There we go. We're going to let that drain out of there. And while that's draining out of there, now we're going to remove all our belts and get the bracket on. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to come over this side of the car. And you know what? This hose is in our way. Let's just take this same screwdriver, loosen up this clamp, and get this upper hose out of the way so we can see a little bit better. Okay, gonna swing that to the back. Matter of fact, let's drain this over here. Get this antifreeze out of here. Okay. Swing this over, put it to the side. Alright, the next thing we're gonna do this like a quick way right here. We got the alternator bracket right here, and our alternator. What I'm gonna do is loosen up my alternator, and that looks like about a 1/2 inch or 13mm bolt. So I'm gonna loosen up this bolt right here, 1/2 inch. And we got a nut in the bolt at the top, the 9/16. Let's see if we can just loosen that up. Great. And on the back here, we have another 1/2 inch bolt. We're gonna loosen this up. Push the alternator down, take the belt off. Great, that's perfect. Now what we're gonna do here is take this, loosen it up a little bit more. All right, we're done. Now, we're gonna change the battery, but when we come back, we're gonna take out this bolt right here that's holding on this alternator bracket down to the power steering pump bracket. All right, so we'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back. You know what we're gonna do, guys? Let's take this alternator belt off. And just so we don't get this confused with any of the other belts, we're gonna take out some marker here. And we're gonna mark it Alt. Set that over to the side. The next thing we're going to do before we take off the other belts, what we want to do is take off our fan clutch. And it's got 4 nuts on it. 1/2-inch drive. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to reach in there. It looks like it's hard to get with a close end, so I'm going to use an open end and break them all loose. Okay. And then we're going to get this last one up in here. Great. Okay, what we're going to do is take them all off so we can get that fan clutch off. Be right back. Alright guys, we got one more nut to go. Take it off. Got our fan clutch assembly off of there. Let's set this to the side. The next thing we're going to do is, now our water pump is kind of sucks because this water pump is behind the power steering pump and the AC bracket. So I'm just trying to figure out a quick way of doing this. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to try to just take this whole bolt out and everything, the whole bracket out. So what I'm going to do here is get my 1/2-inch drive wrench, and there's a bolt right over here, a 1/2-inch drive bolt, 1/2-inch bolt right over here. So I'm unbolting the power steering bracket from the alternator bracket, and it looks like there's a nut on the opposite side of this. So I'm holding it with my finger and at the same time trying to with the wrench. Alright, so I'm going to get this out and I'll be right back. Alright guys, I got the bolt. Now if I can, this thing is kind of difficult. Even if I drop it, I'll get it later. There it is. Alright, got the nut to it, and what I'm going to do is put them back together and put them to the side. Now, to loosen up the power steering pump, we got some bolts inside of here, but it's going to be hard to get to. Turn this. So, hey, that's a good idea. Why don't I just... Nope, that ain't going to come off like that. Alright, so actually what I'm going to have to do here is loosen up this power steering pump. And to do that, there's going to be bolts on the inside of here. And let me see if I can get a mirror or something and show you. Alright. No, you're not going to be able to see it. So, let me see if I can turn this a little bit. You know, it's kind of a dumb idea. Alright guys, let me get a screwdriver. I'm going to see if I can turn that. Be right back. Alright, got me a flat screwdriver. And what I'm going to do is try to put the screwdriver through the hole, get it lined up on the bolt that I need to turn. And use that to bring the pulley right in alignment with the bolt. Got my 9/16 socket right in there. We're just going to loosen this up. And there it is, this slid forward. Take the belt off. We're going to mark this. Power steering. Okay. Set that up to the side. Now, what's holding on this bracket now, it looks like a bunch. Can I get in there and get that bolt off? I don't know. We got a nut right here, looks like about a 1/2 inch, and then we got one down here that's a 9/16. All right, so I'm gonna get my 9/16 deep with my 4-inch 3/8 drive extension. All right, let's take that nut out of there. Any day now. Dang it. What's down there? Now, the next thing I'm going to do is get me a 1/2 inch deep with my same 4-inch 3/8 drive extension. And I'm going to loosen this top one right here. And I'm going to see if this whole assembly right here will come forward. Of course not. Well, yes, it's wiggling. Let's get that bolt off. Let's get the nut off of there and see. Why don't I got air tools? All right. Let's see if it's perfect. All right. So we're gonna pull this off. I'm gonna lean it to the side, get it out of the way. And what I might do is get some wire ties or something to hold this. There we go. All right, so we're clear with one. That's great. The next thing we need to do is loosen up the belt to the AC compressor so we can get this bracket out of the way. Let's go on to the other side. Now it looks like we got a nut and a bolt right here, a nut and a bolt up under here that's holding that bracket on. So what I'm going to do is get me a 9/16 wrench to hold the nut in place, and then in the back we have a 9/16 bolt. Then I gotta get the socket for it. You know what, guys? You know what? I'm tired of this. I'm gonna get me some air tools. I'll be right back. All right, got my 9/16 deep 3/8 drive. We'll go over here to the back of this bolt. All right, I got the nut off. Let's put this up to the side. Now we're gonna get this top one up here. There's that one. And what I want to do here, I just want to make sure these bolts are backed up enough so that bracket can come right out of there. Let me back this one up a little bit more. Perfect. All right. Next, this bracket is still held on by these two bolts right here, which looks like about a 1/2 inch. Let's find out. Yes, and yes. So, I am going to get my 4-inch 3/8 drive extension with my deep 1/2 inch socket, 3/8 drive. Let's get those off here. One. Oh, that's an actual bolt, huh? And we got to be careful. See how... Matter of fact, we can, now that we got that loose, we can take this belt off. And I don't got to mark it because it's the last belt, and that's all I know is the one that's not marked goes to the AC compressor. All right, now, let's go ahead and finish taking that bolt out of there. Great. Got the bolt out. There's our bracket. Slide it down. Let our alternate, our power, dang it, I'm killing everything but what it is.
AC compressor.
Yeah, AC compressor. Put our bolt back into the bracket, and we're going to put that to the side. And looks like we are almost ready to take this pump out of here. You know, also, let's take off our pulley too. Yeah. All right, now we got, looks like we got two hoses here. This one is kind of difficult. So what you got to actually do is loosen this clamp up and actually take the pump off. We can loosen it up from here, taking it off with that. All right, before we do that, we're going to cut this wire tie off of here so we can be able to get this hose off of here. Get that out of our way and everything looking good, All right, we'll be right back. Alright guys, we're ready. The first bolt, let's get this one bolt down here out. And what I'm going to use here is my 6-inch extension, 3/8 drive with my 3/8 swivel socket. Because a straight was just going to have to give me a hard time getting in there. Alright. Let's take that one bolt out, set it up there. And let's feel my hand around here. Alright, I see I feel another bolt over here. But this one, I might be able to get straight down. Okay, this one I got right about here. And what I want to make sure is that this bolt is the same length as the other one I took out. And it is. That's great. Alright, let's change sides. Alright, now before I take out the rest of the bolts, what I'm going to do is cut this tie strap right there. Get that out of the way. Get a screwdriver. Loosen up this clamp. Move this covering out of the way. And I want enough to get this clamp back onto the hose. Alright, now this section right here, because this hole's been up here a while, this is going to be very tight to come off. So what you want to do is get a big pair of pliers and twist the hose, or take a screwdriver and just break the seal loose just like that. Take the hose off, lean it to the side. The one over here, now you can either take it off from here and pull the water pump out with it, or you can take it off from here. You know what we're going to do, guys? Let's just loosen it up right here. Okay, we're going to loosen this up. Bring this clamp up. And if we want, we could do is just tighten this clamp up just a little bit, just to keep that up in the air. And do the same thing to this side. Dang, that's a lot of rust. Oh, this car does have a lot of rust in the system. Alright, so in that way, when we drop that water pump, it'll come right out of there. Alright, only thing was holding on this water pump now is we got 3 1/2-inch bolts with studs on them, and we got 2 3/8 bolts. So, let's get our air ratchet. And I'm going to use my 4-inch extension, 3/8 drive. Deep 1/2-inch drive socket. There's one. 2, and I'm leaving them in there just to make sure to see if they're all the same length. Alright, these two are the same length, but this one over here is longer. So now I know that. Now I'm going to move my pan over a little bit, make sure it gets right up under the water pump. Then I'm going to get my 3/8 drive, 3/8 socket, 3/8 drive, and take off the remaining bolts. Okay, now I notice all my 3/8 bolts are the same size, and that should be it on the water pump. I'm going to take us a little screwdriver, pop it out of the way. Then we're going to have to grab it and twist it a little bit to get it off that hose. Oh man, you gotta be kidding me. Do I have to remove this pulley on the bottom half? And if I do, that's gonna suck. Yeah, it figures, man. You know what, I'm not even gonna sit here and fight with this, guys. We got 4 bolts right here. Let's see what size they are. 4 1/2-inch drive bolts. Gonna take that front pulley off of there. It's not necessarily the harmonic balancer because we're not removing the center bolt right there. We're just taking off these 4 from the outside. So let's get those loose and we'll be get them off and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we're on our last bolt here. Okay. I mean, there ain't no more bolts, eh? No. It's probably got a, from old, it's probably got a lip on it or something. Let me get me a little hammer or something. Look how I use this. Tell you what, get my pry bar between there. All right, there we go. Now, take our water pump out, take it out from the hose, pull it out. As you can see, the water pump was leaking right from the weep hole there. This thing was pouring out.
What's a weep hole?
That's the weep hole.
What is it?
It's a weep hole.
Does it cry?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. The water pump's crying. Change me. Guys, you know, check this out, guys. I know the purpose of a weep hole when the water pump goes or when the seal goes inside, it starts leaking. But I have no idea why would a water pump need it. I have no idea. But it's kind of messed up. Because if the water pump didn't have a weep hole, hey, they wouldn't mess up. All right, the next thing we're gonna do, we gotta clean up all this where the old gasket was. So what I'm gonna do is get my 90-degree angle die grinder with my surface discs on them. And what we're gonna do is go around. Clean the whole thing up. All right, we'll be right back. All right, guys, we got it cleaned up. And next thing what I want to do is take some, either a brake cleaner or carburetor cleaner. Spray it up there. Take you a nice rag and clean that up. Now on these older cars, guys, this plate right here, it really gets pitted. As you can see, it's no longer flat like the inside. So when you put the new gasket on, it's a must that you use silicone on this side of the gasket. Yeah, that's pretty much ready to go. All right, the next thing we'll do, we'll come over this side. And we got our new water pump right here. And it looks like, dang it, looks like we're gonna have to take the studs out of this one and put it onto that one. But I find that it's gonna be a lot easier with this pump inside the car. So I'm not even gonna worry about that yet. Man, this thing is, oh, you see it? That thing is rusty. Ooh, nice and new. All right, guys, the first thing we're gonna do is we're using 2 adhesives. One, we're using weather strip, and we're going to put on this side of the pump, and then we're going to put the gasket on it, and then when we put the gasket on it, we're going to use red silicone to go on the other side. The reason why I'm doing this is because next time when somebody does a water pump on this, with this adhesive up here, the weather stripping, it's going to pull off, and it's going to take the gasket with it, so there's not that much of cleaning up over here. Just like, and it looks like somebody did it on this one, because you can see the gasket pretty much came off with the pump. So that's just being respectful for the next mechanic. All right, so what we're gonna do is take us a nice little this over here, man. Okay. Doing some nice little bead around here. Don't let this set too long, because you don't have long before this stuff starts drying. But you want to make sure that you definitely got it sealed up pretty good. All right, let's get our new gasket. And before we set this gasket up there, I mean, you could have did that before you did this. We want to make sure we set this on right. And see, now that's wrong. Let's go around this way. And that's right. So we go ahead and set our gasket down. Make sure all the holes are lined up. Perfect. Now, what we're going to do is take our red silicone. I like red because it withstands heat. And I'm going to put us a nice bead around there. And remember that backing plate is pitted, so you want to make sure you have a good amount right there, or that thing will leak. Nothing goes with these ports, but I just like to put it around it just to be sure. Just to be on the safe side, in case it leaks through the bolt or something. Alright, let's go over here. Now what we're going to have to do here is let's take two of our bolts right here. We know two of them. These two go right over here. And then we have a longer one that goes right over here. So, okay, so we know all our gaskets bolts. We'll put that up there. Okay, they're all lined up. Now you want to carefully, first thing we'll do is get this water pump, we'll get this hose in here without touching this water pump up against the backing plate. Okay, slowly bring it to the backing plate at the same time, starting the bolts to the water pump. Okay, got those lined up perfectly. And you want to start them off by hand, so you want to make sure you don't cross thread them. Now I know I got those in, that's perfect. Now I want to grab my 4 3/8 bolts. Let's get those in there. Got 2 at the top. And we got 2 down at the bottom. Alright, we're going to get our ratchet on, get ready to tighten this up. Be right back. Alright guys, now we're ready to tighten this up. Now, I'm using the air ratchet to bring them in, but I don't want to use the air ratchet to completely tighten it up because there is a good chance you can tighten up too much and squeeze that gasket and break it. So let's start off bringing in our 4 3/8. Alright, we bring them in. Now, our 3 1/2 inches. Great. Now that that's done, now I'm going to go and get my 3/8 drive regular ratchet. I'm going to start with my 1/2 inch ones, and that's all you want to do is tighten it till it stops and then snug it a little bit more. Okay, switch over to our 3/8. That is perfect. The next thing we're going to do is, being that we're down here, let's go ahead and hook up our lower radiator hose. Bring our clamp in. We're going to tighten that up. Then we're going to bring our hose over here. Bring that down. Bring the clamp down and tighten that up. And then bring this clamp down and tighten that up. Alright, so let's do that and we'll be right back. Alright guys, we got all the clamps tightened up. We are looking great. The next thing I want to do is, let's get on our pulley for our harmonic balancer. Now sometimes the pulleys the bolts are offset. I'm not really sure if it is or if it isn't, but I'm not taking no chances. I noticed on this harmonic balancer there's a little hole right there, a big hole right there. That's not a bolt hole. So I'm looking on the back of here and I see where that is right there. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna line that up down there, and then I'll know 100% that all the bolts will line up. Okay, I got one started. And I kind of figured it would be a difficult thing going on, because we had to use the hammer to take it off. But as I can get these bolts lined up, get them all started, the air ratchet will pull them right in. Okay, and I've got number 4 in, and we'll be right back to tighten these up. Alright, got them all started. Let's try to get this bolted up. And what I'm going to do is tighten up one a little bit, and I'm going to go right across from it so the pulley goes on evenly. Dang it, I got a 9/16. This is a 1/2 inch. Tell me. Great, guys, that is perfect. That's looking good. What's next? Next is, let's get this AC bracket up here on together. Now on this AC bracket, we got a bolt here that's also for the water pump. So what we want to do is pick our AC compressor up Swing it around, get this bolt in there, get it onto that stud. I'm not going to tighten that up yet. And got the nut right there. So what I want to do now, before I tighten it up, I want to bring that big bolt through here. And we want to get that washer and nut over here and get that started by hand. And yeah, this ain't gonna give me, this ain't gonna be easy. Okay, that was easier than I thought, actually. All right, we got that one. Now I want to get the one on this side. Let's push this bolt through. There it is. Get that on by a few threads. That's good. Now I know I can tighten that one up. Let's tighten these two bolts up right here. Well, one nut and one bolt. This one's going into the water pump, so I want to be careful with this one. All right, that's great. Perfect. Now, the next thing we're going to do, we got our power steering pump. That's all we have to do.
You don't have to tighten that in that?
No, because I got to put the pulley on the belt, and then I got to swing that back to tighten it up.
Aight.
Aight. All right, let's get our power steering pump over here and get it lined up to the studs. Okay, 1 and 2. Those are lined up perfectly. And how are these things held on? I got one bolt right here. One bolt right here. And then we got a 9/16 bolt somewhere. Supposed to be on this. 9/16. Oh, that's the one that dropped in the pan. Almost forgot about that. Alright, so let's get this one down there. Onto there. Alright, now before I tighten those up, I want to get our nut and bolt over here to the alternator bracket, to the power steering pump bracket, and get that started. I'm going to use this to line it up. Make sure that we're all lined up. There we go. Damn, how they get around this thing? I don't know why they put a bolt right here like this. Alright guys, we got that on. We're going to tighten these up. We got a 1/2 inch right here, a 1/2 inch right here. Okay. Let's just go ahead and tighten them up right now. Okay. 9/16 at the bottom. Okay, now over here we have a 1/2 inch. Let's see if I can get to it with my air gun. You know, hold the nut on the other side. Perfect. All right, we're looking good, tightened up. The next thing we're gonna do is we gotta go to the old water pump and pull off those studs. We'll be right back. All right, guys, Got an old raggedy pump here, and what I gotta do is got me a big pair of vice grips. I'm gonna use this to hold this pump, hold this pulley into place. And I got my 5/16 stud remover here. And these things are cool. You want to get you a set of these, and what they do is go inside the stud, and as I loosen it, it will tighten up. And get those.
What?
Inside of there are 3 rollers. And as you turn, those rollers squeeze in, they'll grab onto the stud and pull it out, unscrew it without messing up the thread. And you can use them to put them back on. See, right now it spins like that, but if you keep on going, it locks right into place. Take your 3/8 drive ratchet. Instead of sitting there using vice grips and messing something up, comes right out, grabs onto the threads. It don't mess them up. There's a little bit of char, but it'll go right on, and that's all we have to do. So sit here and take off all 4. All right, we'll be right back. All right, guys, we got our studs out. Now I'm going to take my vice grips and crimp it onto here. Okay, we're going to start our studs in there by hand, and these will go in perfectly. They're going in with no problem at all. Alright, and then take my same tool, and this time I'm going tightening. And tighten up our studs. Alright, let's get them all tightened up, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, looking great. The next thing we're going to do is take our water pump pulley. And we're going to get our water pump pulley and put that on. Gotta line those 4 bolt holes up. Where they at? Alright, great. Now we can, if we want, put our fan clutch on. What we're going to do is take our belts now. AC belt is the one furthest back, so we're going to put that on. And we're not looking to tighten them up. We just want to get it onto the pulleys and all, get it ready. Hey, what the heck? No, I didn't tighten up this thing, man. What the heck? Looks like I got a little issue over here. That's the furthest it goes. I should have put that belt on before. This a crummy thing, man. This is a crummy. Okay, let's see if that works. Okay, we got that one on. The next one, power steering. Make sure all the grooves are lined up. That one's on. And last but not least, the alternator. All right, now we're going to get our fan clutch. Set that on. get our 4 1/2-inch nuts, put them up there, and we're gonna go to bring them in. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we got the bolt started. Now what I'm gonna do now is take my big pair of vice grips here, and what I'm gonna do is use this to hold that pulley in place, because you know my belts are still loose. I know you like these vice grips. And I'm gonna use this, and I'm gonna go ahead and finish tightening up these 4 nuts over here. I'm just gonna put that one on. All right, so let's get these tightened up, and then we'll be right back to tighten up our belts. All right, guys, we're ready to tighten up these belts. Let's start off with the AC compressor. I'm gonna stick this pry bar down in here, and I am actually hooked onto the very top of the fuel pump. And what I'm gonna do is pick that pry bar up like that, but not let it slip. Get that belt nice and tight. Then I'm gonna get my wrench ready, 1/2-inch. Let's just bring this in. It's gonna be 9/16. All right. Then I'm gonna get my 9/16 egg ratchet right there. It's deep socket. All right, now I'm gonna pry up, nice and tight. Tighten it up. Perfect. Now I'm gonna get my second bolt. Go back up here and tighten this one up. I'm gonna tighten this up, and then we're gonna go on to our next pulley. Be right back. All right, guys. Next thing we're gonna do is do our power steering pump. Now remember, we had that bolt we had to line up. So actually, I'm gonna do that, line that up right now, so I know where I'm at. There it is, right there. Get my pry bar. Pull back, hold it in place, tighten up the bolt. Perfect, that one tight. Last but not least, we got our alternator, which is very easy. We got a 1/2-inch bolt in the front. Grab my 1/2-inch deep socket. Get my pry bar, find me a nice prying point right there. Tighten the bolt up. Let it go. We got our other bolt in the back. Tighten up, and then we got a 9/16 bolt right here that we're gonna tighten up. We'll be right back. Guys, you know, I just looked at the belt, thinking I got this backwards. This sucks. Let's loosen back up this. The alternator belt should have been in the back. Our 9/16.
How do you know?
Stand right here. If you stand, I'll bring this back up a little bit. Now stand right there and look how crooked that pulley is. The belt. See it? If I hold this up, see it? See how this belt like that? So loosen this back up. Right.
Oh, okay. But you took the alternator belt off first.
I could have sworn I did. Maybe this thing was crooked. So what we got to do is the alternator got to go on first. And I could have sworn I did too, right?
You did.
All right, we got that on there, and what we're gonna do is now let's tighten up our alternator. Well, actually, no. Let's see. We're going to tighten up the power steering first. There we go. That could be going back a little bit more. Looks like it's going to rain out here.
Yeah.
Sometimes these things can be a little... Oh, you gotta be kidding me, man. I had this thing on loosening. Dang it. There we go. Now, let's tighten up the alternator. Switch sides. Go. Tighten this one up. Alright, I'm gonna tighten this one up, and now we'll be right back. Alright guys, we got everything good. The belts is on, the belt's on tight. Let's get our upper radiator hose. Let's bring it. Dang it, what the heck is that? Oh, it goes over in a second. Okay. Go over here, tighten this up. And guys, the customer got the the parts on this and got the antifreeze. So we're putting in some antifreeze, and I have no idea what the heck antifreeze he got here. Okay, this is the antifreeze he got. It doesn't say 50-50, it doesn't say full strength. I have no idea what the heck it is. Let's see what color it is. Is it green? It's green.
Oh.
What?
Oh no, go ahead, sorry. Sorry, go ahead. I got it.
Alright, so it did say mix it, so I'm good with the 50-50. Alright, so we're going to fill this system up. Take the cap off and we get a funnel.
Didn't you hooked up that hose down there?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, you got it.
Second guess my work.
I just didn't see you do it. When did you do it?
I'm not one of these dirtbag mechanics. See?
Alright.
Look at it, it's tight. See? Everything good.
I didn't. Okay. I guess I wasn't paying attention.
Yes, it was. Alright. So let me get a funnel. We're going to pour this in here. Be right back. Alright, guys.
It looks like it could be mixed.
Yeah, it don't have that thick consistency anymore. Alright, we're going to fill this system up. We're going to see if the customer left the key in here. We're going to start this up.
Yes, we did.
No keys in, okay. So we're going to fill this up and we'll be right back. Alright guys, we're good. I used a whole gallon, and this will probably have about a half a gallon now. Okay. Let's close this off. Then we're going to fill up the tank over here. To the fill level. And gonna start this up. Alright, you wanna stand over here in the front of it so something don't fly out. Alright guys, let me go start this up. Alright, there we go. Let's check it out. Make sure everything's good. None of the pulleys are wobbling. Everything looks tight. No leaks. It's got a little exhaust system up here, so it sounds alright. Alright, we'll shut it down and we'll be right back.
Alright, so today we had a 1977 Buick LeSabre with a 5.7, and we did the water pump.
350.
350, 5.7, yada, yada, yada. So we did the water pump. Everything went well. We're all set. We're going home. So if you guys have any comments or questions, you can post them below in the comments section, or you can email Timmy at tim@astralautorepairs.com. Hope you paid attention. If not, watch it again. This is Sylvia from Astral Auto Repairs. If we can't repair it, nobody can. See you next time.